Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Here in the studio with me is Craig Burley and Shaka Hislop. Ian Darke is also with us. Thanks for sending your questions in.
I might have to take a call during this. It could be a first. Well, it's just not a call.
You're not going to get your wife to say some weird Scottish phrase like Stevie Nicol, are you?
I'm just holding my hands up. It might even be a FaceTime. It's my daughter.
This would be an interesting extra time.
My daughter. It's my daughter.
Okay.
Okay.
She's here to pick me up. I don't have any wheels today. And I do think she has arrived somewhere near the building because just as we were closing out the regular programme, my phone was buzzing away.
Okay, well...
Being the professional that I am, I thought, I better not answer, you know.
Nice to have a show for, isn't it?
Understood.
I think she'd probably prefer you didn't answer. She knew she's going to be on television.
No, she'll tell it to ring.
On FaceTime.
That'd be so good.
All right,
So
let's see if we can get through without this call.
What we have to do is drag it on for as long as possible.
Shaka, did you enjoy penalty shootouts as they typically put more pressure on the shooters than the goalkeepers?
I'll be honest, I didn't. Yeah, the more pressures on the shooter than the keeper, but I just feel it's so pressure filled regardless. It's such a knife edge that it's not an ideal way to decide games. Listen, I understand that we have to have it, but I didn't enjoy it enough.
I tell you what, players don't. How the hell do players miss penalties now? I mean, honestly, how the hell? Because cheaters like him and the goalies, without these rules and VAR now, and you have to have at least part of your foot on or behind the line, this lot were closer to the 6-yard box.
I always stayed on my line, Craig.
So,
I never come off my line.
And you may think, what's the difference? It narrows. It's called narrowing the angle. I know that's my goalkeeping expertise.
Page 1 of the goalkeeper's manual.
Page 1. Let's get. And so when you used to take a penalty, the goalkeeper was not only moving, but he was heading out to narrow the angle. That being said, I still managed to sit our colleague Casey Keller on his backside in the FA Cup penalty shootout. Hope he's watching. But he will tell you they did win.
Okay. Oh, well.
But it wasn't me who missed.
Well, that's all that matters.
I did my job.
Yeah, I do that right. There you go.
Craig, at this rate, PSG will get smashed by Real Madrid with how they play under Pochettino.
Well,
it's a statement, but we'd like your thoughts on that. I mean, it's just a statement, isn't it, rather than a question, but we'll take your thoughts on it anyway.
Oh, thanks. Actually, no, I won't actually. I won't bother. As Frank Leboeuf was saying on the show, talking about PSG and their performance against, was it Lorient?
Lorient today, yeah.
That it's kind of much of the same, and you know, no cohesion. Ramos comes on, gets a red card. Di Maria missed chances. They waited on a late Icardi leveller. They are not playing well. How the hell they're so far ahead in League One is amazing.
Let me just say, well, not a question, but the statement kind of takes aim at Poch there. I think the issues at PSG are far greater than the coach. They've had some incredible coaches over the years, but I just feel culturally within that club, something's very, very wrong. They'll continue to win in France, but I think you'll see the same disappointments in the Champions League, which is what that squad is all about.
Next one for you, Ian. One of the things I absolutely can't stand about the professional game is the players berating a referee after a decision. You don't see this in other sports. How do you feel about this?
Well, I think it's part of the culture, and we touched on it in the main show tonight. Yeah, it's not a very edifying spectacle and doesn't make great viewing. The referees were supposed to have really clamped down on more than one player crowding around them to try to influence the decision. But like a lot of new ideas, it seems to have been forgotten. It still goes on. It's not a great sight. And until you get the referees issuing 4 or 5 red cards and saying go away, it's not going to change. But I don't think the referees are going to do that either, because they don't want half the players on the pitch on a yellow card. So do I have the answer? No.
You know who's to blame for that, Kay?
Just reading so I was checking I wasn't reading the question because I was checking my phone. I think she sussed it out. That we're
on extra time.
Yeah, she's quite clever. Takes after me, obviously, and or maybe her mum. and she's not ringing back. I've just read the question, you're right. I love berating referees. In fact, it was a hobby of mine. I loved it. It's part of it. Before the game, during the warm-up.
Why? Was there a thinking behind it?
Yeah, why not?
He still doesn't know when we get Clattenburg on. And
honestly, I used to get into not as a youngster. As I got more experience and I started playing international football and blah, 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 and you get to know the referees and you get to know how they react and if they give you a bit of back chat or they don't. And you try and get in their head, you know, even during the warm-up, you'd be shouting things over at them about a decision they made 3 months ago or whatever.
So it was best not to try and be pally with them, as you see some players doing, but actually
No,
putting the dart on their head.
but to Craig's point, back in our day, you could have that banter with the referees. Now you hear players talking about the referee said this to me and the referee said... That was part of the course when we were playing. You would have that back and forth with the referee and nobody, I mean, you dare not go to the press and say, oh, the referee said, the referee really hurt my feelings today. I mean, what kind of ridiculousness is that?
I remember you saying to referees before a game in the tunnel, you know, you go in the tunnel when the referees are waiting, now you go up and be all nicey and say, hey, how you doing, ref and all that, but it's good to see you again. Hope you have a better game than last week. Something like that. So you're absolutely, how'd you give that penalty? You're absolutely garbage. And sometimes they give it back. It's personality but of course, back in the 90s and the early 2000s, they were not wearing the microphones. And so they were able to give you a little bit of, you know, down the pub chat.
Right.
Craig,
I feel like Ian's led it along, yeah.
England's World Cup player, Alan Ball, God rest his soul, he told a great story of a referee called Gordon Hill going back in the day, underlining your point. He ran past the ref Hill in an Everton game and said to him, "You're having an awful game, ref." And the ref turned around and said, "That makes two of us then, doesn't it, son?"
It's brilliant.
Love it.
But I think the players back then loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that bit of sledging between the players and the ref.
I remember Willie Young, I think I've told this one before, Willie Young, who was a renowned Scottish referee at the top level, you know, I would be giving him stick during the game, and he came out with several lines to me. One of them was, and this is true, he shouted to me as I was screaming at him, if I hear you again once in this match, Burley, you'll be visiting your teeth in the dressing room before the final whistle. You'll be visiting your teeth in the dressing room. That was brilliant. I was like, I love that.
Was that like a touche? Did he not hear from you again after that?
No, of course he did. That was his little way of, you know, saying, that was his way of saying, hey,
yeah, shut up.
Shut up.
Shaka, what's scarier as a keeper? A ball in the air with a nasty spin?
Just a ball.
Or
Or
a ball low to the ground that bounces with unpredictable trajectory?
Well, that's his job. It's his job. Sorry, I haven't let you finish.
Don't carry on.
I haven't let you start.
Don't carry on. No, I want you to answer.
It's unpredictable. I'm not even going to say it.
Go on,
why?
say it.
Because I can't. Unpredictable
I can't believe it came out.
trajectory.
Yep.
It's the goalie's job to predict the trajectory.
But if the ground is uneven, then the trajectory is unpredictable.
How many pitches have you seen now that are uneven?
Who said anything about now? We're just talking about my experience. I've seen many a pitch that's uneven.
Trajectory.
I have to say, when I saw the, I was thinking, oh, please say this right.
Trajectory.
Anyway, I'm not attempting it again.
Right. A ball with spin is not an issue.
A ball and spin's not an
No.
issue. All right, both of you then. I'll start with you, Craig. Is Anfield as daunting as it seems?
No. It's only as daunting as, you know, no ground is, in my experience, no ground is daunting. Some are a little more hostile than others. His old ground at Upton Park wasn't daunting, but it was hostile, particularly one side of the ground.
Yeah.
And you were quite close to it because the stadium was quite close. But no, it's just great places to play. Top-level players don't see these grounds as daunting; they see them as a challenge.
I've played at Upton Park, and the ball goes right by the chicken run, which is where Craig is talking about. And the opposing for a throw-in for the opposing team, and nobody would go take the throw. Everybody just kind of stand around waiting for somebody else to go take it. It was that intimidating. As far as Anfield goes, I loved playing at Anfield. I don't know how many points I picked up at Anfield playing there, but I always felt that the crowd were there for the football and nothing else. They weren't that bothered about shouting abuse at you. They were there for the football. And as a football player, that's a great atmosphere to be in.
I'll tell you, I actually will tell you a ground that's daunting.
Millwall.
Well, no, I'm going to say this. One of my former clubs, and I say this kind of tongue-in-cheek, but not, is Celtic Park. It's a fantastic stadium. I mean, have you been?
Not to Celtic Park,
It's
no.
honestly, it's the way that they've banked it. It's so steep, and when there's 60,000+ there, and it's right on top of you. I mean, the pitch is, it seems a couple of yards away. That's daunting when you're a Celtic player. It's daunting when you're not getting the results, because what's daunting about it is they're great. It's a great support, but they're not surprisingly they're demanding, and I felt that when my early stages at the club, first couple of games of my first season, we lost. We got off to a terrible start to that season. Oh, and they were howling, and I mean howling. That's daunting, you know, when you got to go out there and face that challenge and turn that over. But daunting in a good way, because when you're winning, it turns complete circle. But when you're losing, oh boy, get the tin helmet on. It's coming your way.
I remember Michael Owen telling me, guys, that the fixture he used to love best when he played for Liverpool was at Goodison Park. He said you walked around and you could walk out and feel the animosity. He said, and that's what really got you going to stuff it all back down their throats and win. So I guess some players love that.
My daughter's just been on the phone.
Right.
And she says, can we get a move on?
All right.
And
Well, okay, we've got 4 questions left. Ready? Ian.
4.
Ian, does having a lovely voice as yours, is having a lovely voice like yours a requirement for commentating jobs? Sometimes the voice of some commentators throws you off the game on television.
Oh God, I couldn't possibly comment. Whoever do they mean? I don't know. It helps if your voice is you're a reasonable guest in somebody's living room. Let's put it that way.
I like it. But
I don't think it's so much the voices that throw people off games. I think it's the amount of commentary some people put on games.
I knew you were going to say this.
No, but I mean that. I mean, it's an unnecessary on a sport that you can
Stevie
see.
gets mad about
it's
it
not
too.
radio,
Right.
which requires a completely different skill set, both from a commentator and a co-commentator. So I don't necessarily think it's the voice. I think it's timing. And people like, I'll blow smoke up his backside. People like Mr. Darke, the best in the business. You go to some of the biggest boxing fights in history, Mike Tyson and that, and you've got Darke with great commentary on it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's timing.
actually,
that man's got timing, apart from when he's gone to the bar. in West Hartford.
You'll pay for that the next time I'm in West Hartford.
We did last time.
Took a photo of him and Dan Thomas together, and let's just say it was nearer the end of the night. We had a good night.
Yeah, we won't show that photo tonight then.
had a good night.
Ian, what do you remember of Shaka and Craig's career from when they were playing?
Oh well, it's my turn to be sort
There you
of.
go.
Oh, let's not go down that
Blow
road.
a bit of smoke because seriously, no, they were both. I mean, Shaka played for the club I support because I was born in Portsmouth on the south coast of England and supported Pompey. Shaka was a great Pompey goalkeeper, a really good time for the club, and I know it was a bit of because I've read what he said about the ending there. But I guess often endings at clubs are not that pretty. So, yeah, Shaka's a great goalkeeper and Craig was a very, very fine player indeed, an international footballer and played at the top flight. So, total respect for both of them.
Don't like those questions. People never liked. I was talking about Ian there, and it's kind of awkward.
Okay.
It's not about us.
All right, well, we'll move on then.
It's like the Mutual Admiration Society.
It's not.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's not about us.
I'm going to get this one to Ian again. Hi, everyone. Can you please explain what Boxing Day is to an American that's never been in the UK during the holiday season?
I don't know why it's called that, but it's as simple as it's the 26th of December, the day after Christmas in the UK. That's universally known as Boxing Day. So I think you call it St. Stephen's Day in United States. Am I right?
I'm not sure. Do you know what? I didn't go to it because I know there's a reason it's called Boxing Day. There's actually
I'm going to tell you now.
I
thought it was you threw out all the boxes with the presents.
Well, because I
do you want the answer?
Yeah, I want the answer.
I just left to check in case I need to paraphrase. The name comes from, I didn't know this, the name comes from a time when the rich people used to box up gifts and give them to the poor the next day. Okay. Boxing Day was traditionally a day off for servants of the rich people. The servants would also go home on Boxing Day to give Christmas boxes to the family. So.
Okay.
Oh, so
I think
there was for
the servants would work on Christmas Day.
For the super rich,
the servants would work on Christmas Day and be off on Boxing Day.
I think aside from the actual meaning, though, it's actually a really fun day back in the UK, isn't it? It's the day that most people go out. There's always football on.
Not this year.
Not this
Loads
year,
of football.
no.
Loads of football.
Loads
and big
of football.
crowds. Yeah.
When I go home, I always love going to Boxing Day football. Right. Lastly, Shaka, did you find your phone?
I saw this the other night.
I lost my phone.
Have you got any inclination where?
In New York.
Was that the reason why you were saying it's gone, it's not coming back?
Yeah, it's gone.
So, lost in terms of and somebody, there's a fair chance somebody's actually got it now?
I have absolutely no idea where I dropped it. I was calling it.
Did you not have Find My Phone on your thing?
It wasn't.
Why didn't you call Stevie?
Yeah,
because he's a renowned technological
techno whiz
marvel.
Thankfully, I had insurance, so I got a new phone now.
And I presume you had all the iCloud stuff. And you just pressed it, it's magic in it. Even when remember you lost your phone and you had some problem, you had to go in. How am I going to get my contacts? And now you just press the button. Unless you are the aforementioned.
Right. But I do worry who's got access to the cloud.
Don't worry about that at all, Kate.
I won't then.
Okay.
Unless you're the aforementioned person who, when he has to change his phone, still has to go down to the shop and get people to transfer it off for him. Or something like that.
Oh God, that man.
Oh no! Yeah. Shut up! Close the doors. It's him again. It's a Mr. Nickel on his way down. Shut the shop. How do you get that to that? They got a big wire outlet with a.
I tried to set him up with my music subscription because I had a family plan and. I don't know.
I don't know what would possess you, Kate.
Waste of time.
I don't know what possessed you.
It's a bit like asking me about retirements. Waste of time.
An absolute waste of time. Anyway, we won't waste any more of your time. Thank you so much for being with us.
Craig's daughter. Craig's daughter's still waiting.
Ori and Darke's time. ESPN FC, available 7 days a week, extra time too.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.